Hey, hey, hey. Oh my goodness. It is your girl, Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist, your resident therapist. And I am so excited to come before you for yet another season 3. Well, in this season, we are bringing more and more of what you like. We had an amazing season 2 with an average of about 50 to 60 downloads a week. And I am super excited because I am predicting that we are going to have close to about 100 and 150 downloads a week and moving in to 2 to 3, 4, almost 1,000 downloads a week. I am claiming it. Because I have something to share. So within this season 3, I'm super excited because we are going to be offering we're going to be bringing back the affirmations series where you are able to speak life into the things that you want for your life, and you're able to breathe deeply. So we're bringing back the affirmation series. In addition to that, we're going to bring back those topics that really support your growth. We're going to give you solutions to possible concerns that you may have. Look, I am not here to change the world, but I am here to really change the world. Okay, come on now. And so with that said, we are excited, and we're going to also be bringing some interviews. We are bringing some interviews to this platform, talking to people who you might want to know about, right? Yes, and who have something to also say. And as we have said before, I want you to do 3 things. I want you to hit that 5-star button on your favorite platform. In addition to that, I want you to share. And of course, I want you to comment. I want to hear from you. Season 3 is going to be amazing. So I want to hear from you. And so with that said, my friends, let's get right into it. Welcome to season 3. Let's go. Hello, my friends. It is your girl, Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist, your resident therapist. I'm here, as always, to support you, to empower you, to assist you in becoming the best version of yourself. And my friends, I have an episode 195, season 3, that will change the trajectory of your life. It will change how you see yourself and the things that have happened. And so with that said, I want to welcome you back to the Empower You 2 podcast. I'm so glad you are here. Do you know that? I am so glad that you are joining today for our 195th episode. All right, my friends, I want you to take a deep breath with me. Let's do that again. My friends, because this episode is personal. This episode is for that person who feels stuck. This person replaying old mistakes. It's for that person who has labeled themselves something that they did. They are walking around calling themselves a label. Or this episode is for something that has happened to someone and they are holding on to it for dear life because it is their identity. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. Let me say this. This episode is for you because it is titled, Don't Let Your Past Dictate Your Future. I'm going to say this again. Don't let your past dictate your future. Because let me say this clearly, your past may have shaped you, but it does not, capital N-O-T, get to define you. So often, we allow things that have happened in our lives or things that have happened to us, around us, to define us. we walk around saying we are dumb. We are abused. We are unloved. We are, and again, I'm going to keep saying this. I am unloved. I am something that has happened to me. And let me say to you, my friends, that past, that situation, that person, they don't get to shape you. They don't get to define you. So let's jump into this, because as a licensed clinician, I've had so many people come into my office and share their past traumas, have shared how they have been raised, the family born into, and they wish they weren't. So let's jump into this series, this episode, because I believe that you can certainly, if this is for you, if I am talking to you, my friend, if this is directly related to what you've been doing to yourself, I have some information that can really support your growth. Okay, my friends, one of the things that I have often said to many of my clients and sometimes to myself, your past is information. It is information that you use to build your sense of experience, your ability to have wisdom, and to make different decisions. It's not your identity. Because let me say this, we all have had chapters in our lives we wish we could rewrite. Oh my goodness. I know that for a fact. Those failed relationships, those relationships you've said to yourself, what did I? Why did I? What did I do? What was I thinking? Right? Those financial mistakes. You know, I shouldn't have gotten that credit card, and look at me now. I don't even remember what I bought, but yet I have this crazy balance that I have to now pay off. A career misstep. I have two friends that were lawyers. Literally, they were lawyers. They passed the bar, and after 5 to 7 years, they made the decision, this, honey, is not for me. So my one friend who was a lawyer, now guess what she's doing? She's working in the nonprofit space. She does not want to be in anyone's courtroom. And I have another friend who was a lawyer, and guess what she's doing? Well, she's opened up her own business in childcare. Yes, completely different in childcare. And so you get to know the mistakes and look at it and say, yeah, okay, well, that was a misstep. Or parenting regrets. Yeah, we've had those. If you're a parent, you may have said some things to your children that you feel may not have been the right move or the right thing to say. Of course, the times we've stayed in situations way too long, a job, and like I said before, a relationship, because you felt like you've wasted time. If you would have thought about certain things or certain situations a lot sooner, if you would have seen the red flags, you would have not stayed as long. You would have made the right decisions. And of course, the trauma that you endured as a child, the abuse that you experienced, the bullying situations, the lack of love that you experienced. Yes, my friends. But here is the truth. Your past is just information. It's just data. It is information that is considered to be your experience. It is not your identity. Okay, so let's break it down. What I've often learned in my past and in speaking to clients, thousands of clients over the past, who you are is not fixed. It is not complete. That your intelligence, your ability to reason, your emotional trauma can grow you. It allows you to become resilient. It builds your character. Because what I know for sure, and even in the word, it talks about how trials and tribulations come, but they come to build your sense of character. It comes to build your resilience. And so it is not you. So why do we treat our past like a life sentence? You, my friends, the worst thing that has happened to you is not you. You are not the hardest thing you've ever survived. Oh my goodness. You're the best thing that came out of that survival. You are not the label someone has placed on you that you would never be someone. Your father wasn't anything, and you will not be anything as well. No, my friends, it is not the label placed on you by someone you admired or respected. Actually, it's during your lowest moments that you evolve. It's during your lowest moments that you become the greatest person you could ever have imagined. Okay, my friends, what I know is that, and I'm not discounting the things that you've experienced and the people that have said some not so good things to you. I'm not discounting that because trauma is real. Let's talk about it. But let's be honest. Some of us aren't just dealing with mistakes and things that have happened. We're dealing with wounds that we have yet to close. We're dealing with large gunshots that have never had the bullet removed and ever been stitched. And trauma has a way of convincing you that the future will look just like the past because that trauma that you've endured has really impacted you mentally and emotionally. And this is why I've gotten into the field of mental health, because I understand that the power of the mind, the power of your mindset can really change who you believe you are if you understand whose you are. And when I say that I know this for sure, because really, I mean, be honest. So there's some neuroscience to this, right? Dr. Bruce Perry, a leading expert in trauma, explains that the brain is adaptable. It can rewire, it can heal, it can form new patterns when given safety and consistency. So that means your story is still being written. But you have to understand that you are first God's child, two, that your experiences can also change you into something so much greater. But if you don't understand those two principles, that your brain is still being rewired, it's still receiving information that can change how you see yourself, that God loves you and He allowed those specific situations to come into your life to build you up. Because what I know for sure is that healing is not pretending it didn't happen. Of course, you have to heal. You have to admit what has happened to you. You have to look at that situation and say, okay, I don't like it. It happened, but I am ready for healing. Healing is deciding it doesn't get the final word, that the situation did not come to define you for a lifetime. But what I know all too well from many of the clients that I've spoken to is that they rehearse what has happened on a consistent basis. Okay? So I want you to take into account that your past can distract you from your future because we keep rehearsing it. You're constantly saying, this is what has happened to me. You're constantly replaying the situation in your head. You're constantly giving it life. And what I want to introduce you to, my friends, is that your pain is not who you are. When situations happen, whether it's financial or relationships, we begin to create labels and rehearse scripts in our heads. We say, look, I'm bad with money. Don't give me any money. I always pick the wrong partners and I can't get into any good relationship. I've never been confident, so why should I go after that specific job? I'm just not disciplined. I just allow people to walk over me. I'm a people pleaser. Be careful, my friends, what you repeat to yourself. Your brain will begin to believe it. You will begin to act on it. You will receive that exact thing that you say you are not good at or who you are. Every time you tell that story, you reinforce what has happened. You reinforce the label. Instead of reinforcing those negative thoughts or repeating those words, there's no good men out there because I can't get them. They never find me. Instead, I want you to say, great men are always attracted to me. I am amazing. God loves me. Small languages like this shifts your thinking. It changes how you see yourself. Because again, my friends, is what you tell yourself. We can be our biggest critic. We can really be our biggest enemy as well. And so I want you to begin to shift how you speak to yourself. It starts from within. And the next piece is I want you to begin to forgive yourself. I want you to give yourself grace because forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, is one of the hardest things to practice. And I know if you've never said, I forgive you, if you've never said, I love you to you, it feels very odd. But my friends, as you forgive yourself, it becomes easier to love yourself. That I know is true. I'm not saying if you did really horrible with your finances in the past and you just forgive yourself and move on. No, account for that. Accountability makes a huge difference. Say to yourself, look, I wasn't the best with money in the past, but guess what? I'm moving forward and I now have more wisdom. That experience did not hurt me. Yes, it did. Maybe it did. Yes, it did. But it caused me to make a different shift in my thinking and how I handle money. It hurt me, but I'm not staying in that place. I am not what happened. I am not what happened. That's what shame really is when you're not forgiving yourself. But what you can say is, I acknowledge what happened, but I am not what happened. These are two different things. If you keep punishing yourself for who you used to be, my friend, you deny the person you're becoming. I'm going to say that again. If you keep punishing yourself for who you used to be, you're going to always deny the person you're becoming. Because that situation, as it relates to money, was something that you needed to know, you needed to learn from. And my friends, the last recommendation that I have in order to get you to a place where you're not allowing your past to dictate your future, the recommendation is I want you to have the power to say, this is not me. It starts with a decision. You have to make a declaration to yourself that I am no longer going to beat myself up. I am no longer going to allow this situation to dictate who I am becoming. You have to say to yourself, I am not the trauma. I am not the mistakes I made in my relationships. I am not the person that beats up on myself. I am not the generational patterns that have happened on and on continuously in my family. It stops here. I'm going to say that again. It stops here. You have to make a decision that you will no longer repeat the same behaviors. You will no longer replay those thoughts in your head. You cannot change the past, my friends. I need you to know that. You cannot change the past, but what you can do, you can disrupt your tomorrow. You can say to yourself that this is a new day that the Lord has made, and let me be glad in it. Because, my friends, everyone has gone through trauma. Everyone has made mistakes. But you, my friend, you are one step forward to making a healthy choice for yourself. every session that you attend when it comes to therapy. I hope you're going to a therapist. Every session and episode that you listen to, what it does is it allows you to create the better you. It allows you to receive recommendations, not advice, but recommendations to charge you to do something different, for you to reclaim your future. Because, my friends, that decision is one decision away from greatness. So, my friends, if you are listening to this and you're thinking, but you don't know what I've done, you don't know what has been said to me, you don't know what has happened to me, you're right. I don't know. I don't know you. But what I do know, and I know this all too well, is that your past explains where you've come from, but it doesn't excuse you. Neither does it imprison you. It doesn't imprison you. You have to understand that everything that has happened to you is not a coincidence. It is not by accident. It has come to build you as a person. And your situation that has happened, my friend, it is not just for you. It is for those who are watching, for those you are connected to. That situation is for you to use that situation, that life experience, to help others. I often say that my life, I've been through some things, and the next episode, you'll find out who I am for those who don't know who I am. Because one of my listeners said, you know what would be a great episode is you explaining how did you become Natasha Paris, the empowerment strategist, the person that decided to really dedicate her entire career to those who are hurting, who need some guidance. But I want you to know, and I'll share that with you in our next episode, who am I? But I want you to know, my friends, that you are now the Harriet Tubman of this. Oh, come on now. That's what I often say about myself. I am the Harriet Tubman of this. And what I mean by that is I know how to get out. And now I'm going to show you how to do the same. Come on now, let's go. I'm going to show you the light. I'm going to show you the pathway to freedom, because that freedom will be something that you will now share with others. And so with that said, I hope that this information today has provided you with some recommendations, some tips to getting out and becoming the best version of yourself. Because guess what? I want you to do these things. If you didn't hear anything that I said, I want you to do these things. How do you become the best version of yourself? How do you decide that that life you had before is not you? Well, I say write it down. Write it down. Write down what you want to see in your life. Speak it out loud. Speak it out loud. This is why I've created the affirmation series at the beginning of the week, because I want you to speak what you want for yourself. And I want you to move towards it. That's the next piece. Move towards that person that you desire to become. And when your past tries to remind you who you were, gently respond. That chapter is over. That chapter of my life is closed, baby. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. And I want you to know that you got this. Because guess what? I'm leading you to freedom. You are making a decision to walk with me. You're making a decision to walk with your therapist. You're making a decision to read that book. You're making a decision to speak to yourself and say, no longer will my past dictate my future. Come on now. Come on now. I hope this episode today, episode 195, resonated with you. I want you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, You are not behind. You are not broken, my friends. You are becoming. Until next time, I am your girl, Natasha Paris, and I want you to do what? I want you to be empowered for greatness, because without greatness, there's no you. And without you, there's absolutely no greatness. I want you to be blessed. Until next time, see you in the next episode. Bye.